Digger Phelps, Bob Carpenter. That's it from Purdue. And Gary Miller, the Boilers came up big in the second half.
All right, thanks a lot, Bob. Digger, well, that game was a little bigger spread than we might expect in the next one, where UMass is taking on Wake Forest. It is their home opener. UMass has knocked off top-ranked Kentucky. They've already knocked off one ACC team this year, Maryland, knocking them down to 20th. But this is the matchup of the two best big men in the country, a consensus by most preseason publications. Tim Duncan of Wake Forest against Marcus Camby, both ace shot blockers, and they could be the top two picks in the upcoming NBA draft. Tim Duncan leads the Demon Deacons in every category, not just blocks. He is hitting about 77% of his shots, and he's going up against an ace shot blocker. Here's the tip from the Mullins Center.
And this long-anticipated matchup is underway. The tip controlled by Duncan. This is Tony Rutland, the point guard.
Man-to-man defense by Massachusetts. A lot of pressure on the basketball.
Sean Allen plays power forward. Now Rutland guarded tightly by Travieso.
Camby's headed up with Duncan.
And an errant pass intended for Rusty LaRue. Wake Forest turns it over in its first possession.
Camby's matched up on the inside in a low post, playing against Duncan. He's had a history of getting in foul trouble, Camby, early in his career.
Edgar Padilla has taken over as the starting point guard this year with the departure to graduation of Derek Kellogg.
Notice the matchup by Wake Forest. They do not have Duncan playing on Camby. That doesn't surprise me, Sean. I really don't believe you'll see a whole lot of Duncan guarding Camby because of Camby's versatility to play away from the basket.
Ball was deflected out of bounds by Rutland. There is no score. We've played 45 seconds now here in Amherst.
See, now if Camby's inside, Duncan matches up.
And that's a big part of Camby's game that has improved over the summer, that baseline jumper. Now from the foul line, he's long with it. The two players both said today that they would try to avoid getting caught up in any one-on-one matchup, that it's a five-man game, it's a team game, but they are aware of the hype that's gone into their head-to-head.
Sean, they could say that all they want. Down deep, they got to know that the people are here to watch them.
And Rusty LaRue is also the quarterback of the Wake Forest football team with the first bucket of the night.
Plays baseball as well, is on the dean's list as well, is married, going to have a baby. The guy's unbelievable. You talk about versatility. They're zoning right now. You've seen the zone defense being played by Wake Forest. It's tough to get anything inside with the shot blocking ability of Duncan.
Dave Owen says usually they don't play zone to the conference schedule, but they are tonight against Camby and UMass. And that's Dante Bright with the first points of the night for Massachusetts.
Bright's an outstanding baseline player. Doesn't normally have great range. Little 2-2-1 pressure. Now to rotate back to the man-to-man.
Corrals from Spain. He's a junior. Now Duncan, and they come to double him with Bright.
He's done a better job learning how to find the open man.
Camby got a pace and deflected the shot from Duncan.
Camby really altered that shot.
Bright the pull-up. Air ball. Fielded by Duncan. 2-2 the score, more than 2 minutes play.
Duncan's a better rebounder. Camby's a better scorer.
Steal on a bad pass by Rutland, picked off by Padilla.
This kid's played solid basketball in their 3 big wins. Edgar Padilla, he's like an Iron Man. He and Travieso, they're playing about 38 minutes a game.
Padilla averaging just over 38 minutes per game, and Travieso over 36 per game.
They love it, though. They told me yesterday they love all the PT they can get. They said forget about that fatigue factor that the media likes to write about.
John Calipari says players complain about a lack of playing time, but not about too much playing time. Dingle started to drive on a block called against Sean Allen. 93% of the possible minutes have been played by the tandem of Edgar Padilla and Carmelo Travieso. And if this team has a weakness, it might be the outside shooting ability of that tandem.
Yeah, they really don't shoot well if you look statistically at their numbers, but they make big shots, and that's really important.
As we saw against Kentucky when they started their season with a win over the #1 team in the country in the grade 8.
Got a 19-point lead.
Bright fouled on the drive. Coach Calipari says Dante Bright is the best finisher in the country.
He was a great high school player. He was All-American out of USA with guys like Othello Harrington, Roderick Rhodes, Corliss Williamson, and Jason Kidd, and he was the 5th guy on that All-USA team.
Foul was on Ricky Peral. his first and the second against the Demon Deacons. Bright is an excellent free throw shooter. He has not missed this year. Now 11 for 11.
He came from that famed program, Dunbar, out of Baltimore, Maryland. You know, you mentioned the Kentucky game. They showed a lot of character. They were up by 19. Kentucky catches them. My partner, Brad Nessler, and I, and everybody in the house thought that they would get blown out in the second half, but they met the challenge, and Canby showed, as we look back here, could be a walker violation.
And LaRue's on the sideline.
They showed character and able to survive in that Kentucky game and to win that game. As we look at LaRue, they invite him to the sideline. So he could have been called for a traveling violation, but they got him stepping on the sideline.
Wake has turned it over 3 times already. The Minutemen have not committed a turnover. 4-2 UMass, just over 3 minutes played. Bright long from 3-point range.
Both these teams are going to need perimeter shooters because with Duncan and also with Canby, you're going to see defenses stacking inside saying, go ahead, Mr. Calipari, have your guys shoot the rock from the perimeter.
John Calipari's Minutemen at 3-0, and they played a tough schedule. Wins over Kentucky, Maryland, and Florida. And Duncan fouled as he accepted the pass in the low post. Canby whistled for the foul. Now, actually, they charged it to Bright on a reach-in.
Look at Canby now trying to play on Duncan. Duncan with the long arms. See Bright reaching in. Here's the foul by Bright reaching in. They're going to double him every time he touches the ball.
Rawl threw it over the head of Duncan while trying to inbound. So UMass takes over with a 4-2 lead. These two teams look a little bit tight, aware of all the attention that's gone into this matchup.
Oh, there's been so much hype. It's incredible. The newspapers are tailored to tape and got all kinds of coverage. Every newspaper putting about this big matchup between Canby and Duncan.
Canby missed a three-pointer.
A little bit out of his range out there up on top. He's got to wait till the shot comes to him.
And Peral barely scraped the front rim, and then it was Padilla to slap it out of the hands of Sean Allen. Padilla
made the big three right there. Peral did a great job hustling back on Canby, but Padilla knocks it down. Calipari 30-1 in his building. The only loss to Mike Jarvis and George Washington, and a guy by the name of Canby was not in the lineup.
That was last February 14th. UMass lost by 2. Their only loss here at Mullins Center. They've run off 7 unanswered points, and at the first time out, UMass leads by 5.
It starts raining threes.
Foot Action's also where to get the latest Nike shoes and stuff you wear when you're doing your thing.
Looks like severe thunderstorms are headed towards the New York area.
For every action, there's Foot Action.
This is the first meeting ever on the basketball court between UMass and Wake Forest. Both teams come in at 3-0. Wake Forest with victories to start the season over Mount St. Mary's, Oklahoma State, and Lehigh. And they've held those 3 opponents to 35% from the floor combined, while shooting 44% from 3 themselves. UMass at 3-0, doing it on the boards. Big edge in rebounding, in large part due to Mr. Canby, matched up tonight against Mr. Duncan.
Statistics really are misleading this early in the year because some teams have loaded up on the Jimmy Boeheim philosophy of scheduling the cupcakes versus the John Chaney philosophy, playing the tough clubs. I used to like the Boeheim philosophy, play all the cupcakes.
No shame in that. Rutland matched up with Travieso. Rutland adjusting to the point guard role this year, taking over for a great player, Randolph Childress, now in the NBA with Portland. Duncan drops it in.
He got in deep. Once he gets in deep like that with those long arms, he has great hands. He has the best hands in college basketball. Once he touches the rock, you can't get it away from him. See, they're playing a lot of zone defense right now. Peral will go out with Canby if he rotates out, and then Duncan will play him if he rotates to the interior.
Wright tried to force the pass into Canby, and it was knocked out of bounds.
We're going to watch Duncan now lock on the inside. There he is, going to get post position. Freeze it, right here, freeze it. He gets the ball in that deep and has that lane. It's automatic. Can't allow him to get the ball deep in that 3-second area.
Only 7 on the shot clock now, and an air ball fired up by the left-hander Dingle, but Peral couldn't keep it in bounds.
We're looking at Brick City, USA, the way they're shooting the rock. I'll tell you, they're shooting like I was shooting before the game.
They reset the shot clock to 35, but I think Dick Paparo may change that. He went over to the timer. See the turnovers. UMass has not committed a turnover, but they have not shot well. Everybody looks a little tight.
Yeah, they really do. I'll tell you one thing, though. They showed a lot of characters we talked about coming from that situation where they were up 19, blew the lead, and beat Kentucky. Then they showed another side against Maryland. They were down 16 and came from behind. So they've shown they... Oh, great fake. Great fake.
And the bucket would not go for Camby. He had to hurry because they only put 6 seconds on the shot clock, and UMass inbounded.
Watch him catch the ball and freeze the defensive player with the ball fake. There's the ball fake. He said, Duncan, you left something on the floor, Timmy. Go pick it up, Timmy. You left something on the floor. Duncan says, where's this guy? Look how quick he is. Duncan, when you think about it, St. Croix, he's only 19 years of age. You look at Camby from Hartford, Connecticut. He has really matured as a player, Sean.
He thought seriously about leaving after last season, but a tough time matched up against Big Country Reeves in the Elite Eight loss to Oklahoma State. So Marcus Camby decided to need more time in college, and Tim Duncan came to the same conclusion about his own situation.
He had 22 rebounds. Duncan did against Mr. Reeves. Both those teams had something in common. They both lost to Oklahoma State in the NCAA tournament.
Last year, Wake went out in the Sweet 16, and UMass one round later.
Great year, though. They were 26-6. Wake.
School record in wins. Duncan blocked by Camby, and the crowd loves that.
Camby says, get it out of here, Timmy D.
But then the crowd quieted by the three-pointer from the corner by the sophomore Tony Rutland.
Rutland could shoot the basketball. He was a teammate in high school of Allen Iverson.
Travieso answers the three.
I like those two guys. 3 years in a row, they play in the Puerto Rican Summer League where the heat is unbelievable. The pressure is incredible. So they said, this is nothing playing all these minutes here.
Into the game now is Stephen Goolsby wearing number 5 for Wake Forest. Rutland lost it on the drive. Travieso, their leading three-point threat, and that's kicked ball by Rutland.
There he is now. Look at Camby. He's got great timing, tremendous timing. Both of them possess excellent timing as shot blockers. And what a dimension that is to have, because you force teams to shoot the perimeter shot.
And the baseline shot wouldn't go for Camby. Only 5 freshmen in college basketball history have blocked 100 shots or more in their freshman year. And Tim Duncan and Marcus Camby are 2 of the 5. Duncan trying to show his range. He missed a 3. There are 20 NBA scouts here tonight.
They must be here to see you and me. Wow, 20 scouts are here. Wow.
Sergeant Bill Strickland, the sports information director at UMass, said on average night they have 2 or 3 NBA scouts. Tonight there are 20. Bright missed from in close, and Duncan has the ball. Wake Forest in possession, trailing by 5.
That's that special dimension, shot blocking ability of Duncan made that happen there in his shot.
Duncan had trouble with the pass. UMass fans thought that he had knocked it out off Duncan, but they did not get the call.
Offensive patterns are really slow developing for Wake Forest. We're going to watch Camby inside. He wants to go to the baseline, but Duncan beats him to the spot, makes him take the forced shot. Then he rotates over, and he makes that happen right there defensively. Duncan did a solid job on the ball and off the ball.
7 minutes played. UMass leads by 5.
Sloppily played, too. It's a beautiful environment, though. First time I've been here for a game.
Goolsby in for Perral on the bench with his 2 fouls. And some bumping in the lane. Frank Scagliotta blew the whistle. Frank Scagliotta, Dick Paparo, Larry Rose, our trio of veteran officials working this one.
We got to change Rose's name, and we got Scagliotta, we got Paparo, and we got Rose. We got to change it to Rosino. 3 for 8 right now, shooting only 37%. Mass only shooting 25%, 3 for 12. I show you I can do something.
Wow, I'm very impressed. Enos Norval calls the last foul. Padilla with the steal.
Great anticipation. Look at him, he shows he can rise as well with the jam. Edgar Padilla. He said, hey, it may be the night of the big players, but I'm going to steal the spotlight.
5 points for the 6'2" Padilla. Wake Forest has now turned it over 7 times. Joseph Amonette with the ball into the game at point guard, a freshman.
This crowd really getting into it.
And a foul called on Travieso.
Davey Odom, 3 times in the last 5 years, the ACC Coach of the Year. Watch Edgar Padilla rotate over, steps right in a passing lane, and then he's off to the races, and he shows he's got some real legs. Look at him bounce. Look at him rise.
All those minutes not taking their toll on Padilla's legs. John Calipari a little bit worried his team would be tired tonight because they did play both Saturday and Sunday in a tournament down in Washington, D.C.
Charlton Clark will give him a big lift in about 4 to 6 weeks. He has a stress fracture on a foot. He gives him a 3rd guard.
And a high arcing shot goes for Tim Duncan, and he has 4. Wake Forest back within 5.
What a great touch he has down inside.
And the pass intended for Norville batted away. That's the first turnover committed by Massachusetts. They go right back to Duncan.
He won't force too many shots. He plays with a lot of poise, Duncan.
Duncan went over Norville for the rebound and was fouled on the way back up by Enos Norville.
You know, this moment is not really such an unbelievable moment for a guy like Duncan when you think about in his career. He's played against other great big people, Joe Smith, Rasheed Wallace. As we watch him making a pass, now he's going to try to work on the offensive boards, number 21, trying to get inside. There he is, gets the long arms, made that happen. But he's played against Eric Montross. He's played against Sharon Wright down at Clemson 2 years ago. He's played against so many quality big people.
He seemed a little bit amused by all the attention on this matchup based on what you just said. It's almost a nightly occurrence in the ACC. Not really the case for Marcus Camby, although he had one of the best games of his career head-to-head against Joe Smith in the tournament 2 years ago. Massachusetts actually lost to Maryland out in Wichita, but Camby scored 32 points.
He also was brilliant against Kentucky in that opening game. As we look at Duncan right now, leading the team almost in every category, and that's to be expected, especially against, I would say this, Lehigh and St. Mary's. St. Croix, this kid was a swimmer. He was a swimmer, started playing basketball in the 9th grade.
His sister Tricia, an outstanding swimmer.
Olympics, 1988.
In the backstroke.
Wow. I knew you knew that. I was wondering what she did.
Camby gets it to rattle home, and Marcus has 4.
That was an excellent shot by Camby. I thought he was forcing a little bit earlier.
Massachusetts by 7, matching its largest lead.
One of the strengths of Massachusetts under Calipari has been solid team defense, really fighting over screens.
Rutland fouled as he put the shot up.
Rutland really is a key player. He and Ricardo Parole, they have to make open threes to help Duncan out. We're going to watch Camby right now trying to lay a screen, a little phantom screen, but now he rotates to the baseline, catches the ball down here. Watch him spin to the lane. There's the little jump shot. Great touch.
And 2 fouls now on Travieso, so fouls are part of the story early on. Less than 9 minutes played, and a couple of key people have picked up 2. Rutland makes the first free throw.
I know as that free throw went down, a young Wake Forest graduate is cheering right now. Michael Warner, we want to wish our best to him for a speedy recovery. He's coming back from an unbelievable accident. He's paralyzed from the neck down, and he just loves Wake Forest, and they love Mr. Warner. We're all cheering for you, Mike, and so are all the people at Wake Forest.
He's a bit of a different player. He steps out a lot more, faces a lot more. He's got good range and very quick. Has good, very good perimeter skills, as well as his back to the basket moves.
We're going to see right there a little matchup with Parole on Camby. Can't handle him on a wing, so quick. And as Tim was talking about, he has so many skills. He has guard skills at 6'11", where Duncan is your true low post player.
Camby with 4 points, only 1 out of 6 from the floor, 1 rebound and 1 block, while Duncan has 4 points on 2 of 5 from the floor, 4 rebounds, and officially no blocks credited to Duncan yet, but serious emphasis on the word yet.
You know, we've talked about all those great matchups. We look at the zone defense by Wake Forest, trying to play an area of the floor, forcing Mass to shoot the long-range shot.
Errant pass taken away by Rutland, and then Camby reached in.
Yeah, that's a gamble right there. You want to take a chance right there, Marcus Camby, for a foul. I know he's got superb quickness, and he's showing that he can recover. We're going to watch Camby now, after the steal, show his speed. Look at this guy. I mean, look at that 6'11". Look at him. But you don't want him reaching in that situation.
First foul on Camby, already 6 called against UMass.
Yeah, that's not a good foul for your big guy to get. You know, talking about the big guys, I was alluding to the fact that you mentioned earlier about, as we looked at the missed free throw, you talked about Alcindor versus Hayes, Olajuwon versus Ewing. You talk about Sampson and Ewing. The bottom line, there was one common denominator with all those big people. They all stayed in school 4 years to develop. And I really think, when we're looking at these two guys, you can't put them in a category right now with Alcindor and Hayes and Ewing and Olajuwon and Sampson. They have a ways to go, and I hope they stay in school and really develop.
But the potential is there for them to join those greats. Padilla and Allen went high for the rebound. I think both of them are very satisfied that they made the right decision to come back to school this year.
I'm almost convinced that Duncan's going to stay another year. I really believe he loves Wake Forest, loves the collegiate atmosphere.
He says the decision had to be made today. He feels he's not ready to go to the NBA.
A lot of NBA guys will debate that.
Triple header tonight, and it concludes at midnight Eastern time out in Long Beach, California, as Hawaii comes to take on the 49ers. That's midnight Eastern time tonight. Maybe we'll have a finish tonight out there like they had out west last night in that San Diego State game.
That was a shootout.
4-point lead for UMass, their largest lead, 7.
Tempo is so important in both these clubs.
Villa fired an air ball, but it was fielded by Rigoberto Nunez. And Peral's back into the game with 2 fouls for Wake Forest. Allen, the runner.
They're really hoping that Allen can help out inside, that he can replace Scooter Banks and give him that extra player, a physical presence inside to help Duncan out.
He hasn't been much of a scorer to this point, only 5 points per game for Sean Allen. Missed almost all of last year with mononucleosis.
Tyrone Weeks had a real strong game against Maryland. He's on the floor now. Big physical presence from out of Philadelphia.
Camby strong to the bucket, but then missed the finger roll. There's Weeks. Duncan deflected it and took it off the iron.
Duncan's a tremendous rebounder. You look at his numbers there, mind-boggling. In big games, he really rises on the glass.
Rutland, a 3, and all of a sudden Wake is back within a point.
Rutland can't shoot the open shot. They're waiting also, hoping they get back Jerry Braswell, who's out academically right now, because that will free Rutland to go to the second guard slot and put Braswell in a point. As you look at Davey Odom, saying, that's the way, Rutland, that's what I want you to do, make those open shots.
This is a 20-second timeout called by UMass. Rutland stealing the spotlight from the big men through the first 11-plus minutes. He has 9 points.
Wide open right there, knocked that down. They must have had a dynamite backcourt when it was Iverson and Rutland together at Bethel High School in Hampton, Virginia. They won the high school state championship.
Iverson was the point guard, and Rutland was the off guard. Then when Iverson had his problem with the law, for which he's since been cleared, and did not play as a senior, Rutland shifted over to the point, and that was a big break for him because that's when he started to get recruited. Wake needed a point guard, and that's why they recruited him.
He's really a combo guard, can play either slot. Ricardo Peral's playing the baseline of a 1-3-1 zone right now. Duncan will take the 3-second area. Peral will run the baseline.
Weeks found a gap in that zone, but then he traveled.
Little steps right there by Tyrone. Massachusetts got a great recruiting class coming in next year. They're excited about Mike Babel, one of the Babel brothers. He's coming here. John Calipari's not stopping there. Monty Mack from out of Massachusetts, from up in the Boston area. And now, ready for this, it's going to be announced any day. They're getting a commitment from a 6'10 player from St. Anthony's of Jersey City named Bassett, who they really think is going to be a heck of a player here.
Rutland again strong to the goal, and he was fouled rather, by Dante Bright. Wasn't fired. They can't fire him the way he's playing. That's 2 fouls on Bright.
I'll tell you something about the ACC. You know, everybody said down. They lost 8 players to the NBA in the first round. They lost all those young players early, guys like Wallace and guys like Stackhouse and Joe Smith. Ready for this? Check the top 20 and see how many are from the ACC.
They have teams in the top 25 at the moment. That's more than any other conference.
6 from the ACC. And what about North Carolina? Michelangelo keeps doing it. I couldn't believe he blew out Stanford and Tulane. I mean, blew them out, and he lost so many players. He is flat out a genius.
Wake leads for the first time since it was 2-0. They've run off 8 unanswered points.
That zone is really bothering Massachusetts. They can't make the open shot, and it's negating any kind of inside play. Smart decision by Davey Odom. He said, heck with matchups. I want to win, and we're going to go to the 1-3-1 and make them make open shots.
Camby goes past Duncan, and then Duncan reached in from behind and pulled it away.
Duncan says, thou shalt not enter thy lane. The lane belongs to me, the first commandment of defense.
And momentum belongs to Wake Forest. They lead by 1 with a chance to take their largest lead.
An amazing story, the young man with the basketball. The quarterback was a starter, threw over 70 passes in a game.
Rutland not bashful tonight. Duncan, the offensive rebound. That's an NBA 3, and Rutland had it rattle out. Was kept alive by Allen. Duncan couldn't find the handle. Dingle 2-on-1.
He's got a trailer. He's got the trailer. He's got the trailer. He's got to give the rock up. He's got the open man. He's got to dump it off, but they got to communicate. You young kids that are listening, use the word. I'm trailing. I'm trailing. I'm trailing. I'm behind you. He had no idea, Dingle, that a guy was trailing on the play. The back guy's responsibility is to communicate.
It's the first foul on Tony Rutland and a timeout with the Demon Deacons leading by 1.
Sean, we're going to take a look at his zone defense. See Duncan up high. Perrault is the back guy. Perrault's responsibility is to rotate the baseline in the 1-3-1. Watch the back guy, and then it allows Duncan to slide into rotation into the 3-second area. You're going to watch it right here. Freeze it. Now, see, here he is right here. Checking here. Now, once the ball is released, watch Perrault now. He's going to rotate to the baseline. Freeze it right there. See, now he's matched up here. And Duncan is up in this area here, up on top. We're going to now watch the ball as it's rotated down. Duncan comes, freeze it. Look at that great arms right here, all on the ball. Camby doesn't see him from behind, but they do a great job. Davey Odom is the architect of that zone defense.
And the Minutemen inbounded to Camby.
See, they're protecting Duncan by putting him into the 3-second area zoning.
Bad shot, but Bright got it to go. He is off balance and falling away. Dante Bright, the senior from Baltimore, puts UMass back on top.
He shows unbelievable moments of being spectacular. He has to be much more consistent.
6 points for Bright.
Man-to-man defense by Massachusetts. Pressure the ball, get help in the help side. See, right now, there's not much motion going on offensively, and the easiest players to guard are people that do not move.
See the shot clock at 5. Duncan short with it. Dingle went high for the rebound.
Dingle and Bright really give him an extra dimension. Both guys are quick, they're athletic, and they're versatile. They can play either 2 or 3 positions on the floor.
Dave Odom listed as one of his concerns tonight, whether or not his team would be able to match up with those 2 quick forwards.
Man-to-man right now, they got Perrault playing on Camby.
Camby kept alive the miss by Bright. And a held ball on the floor. Perrault and Dingle in the alternating possession gives it back to the Minutemen.
I don't know about you, Sean. I love all these quality matchups we're seeing early in the year. They seem to be all over the nation, and more teams are playing against quality competition. You looked at Kansas. They beat UCLA the other day. They've got wins over Utah, Virginia. Hey, what about Virginia? Vanderbilt put the hurt on them at Virginia yesterday.
In a big way. Travieso missed the jumper, but LaRue was on the end line as he fielded the miss.
He's one of my favorite collegians. Any guy that could be married, his wife's having a baby, he could be on a dean's list, he plays football, basketball, baseball. You got a special guy, Davey Odom. This guy worked for Virginia. Was there when Ralph Sampson was there as an assistant to Terry Holland.
Travieso.
I like those 2 guards. I like any 2 guys that are willing to play every minute, get dirty on the floor, scrap and claw. They're John Madden-style players.
Travieso and Padilla have a lot in common, including the fact they were born on the exact same day, and both were born in Puerto Rico on May 9th, 1975.
That's an amazing statistic.
On the exact same day, in the same place, and wound up roommates at UMass. Travieso, his 3 rattled out. Perrault stripped. And a foul as Dingle took it away and then drew the foul from Perrault. And if that is on Ricky Perrault, it's his third personal.
That's a big one on Perrault because he's an extra help there for Duncan.
Another team making noise in the early season, Georgia. And they'll be on ESPN tomorrow night, 7:30, taking on number 13 North Carolina. Georgia routed Pittsburgh, a team that many thought would be a sleeper team this year. Ralph Willard with a lot of talented freshmen, and Perrault's on the bench with 3 fouls.
They really need him on the floor. You're right about Pittsburgh. They were supposed to be one of the real up-and-coming clubs, and Georgia put the hurt on them big time early. And Tubby Smith's got outstanding players with Carlos Strong, Terrell Bell, Anderson. That's going to be a heck of a game against North Carolina.
He inherited a team with a senior nucleus, did Tubby Smith.
Dana Dingle from out of a great high school program, St. Raymond's out of New York City. Gary DeCesar, Kareem Reed, who was sensational last night in beating Missouri for Arkansas, played in high school with Dingle.
UMass now 6 of 6 from the free throw line. They've been outstanding in their first 3 games from the line as well at 81%.
And that is so special when you can make free throws.
Mass back up by 5. Rutland leaned in. And the foul is going to be on Padilla.
So many clubs can't go to the line and convert, and they create a nightmare for the guys on the sideline.
First foul on Padilla. UMass is over the limit. Wake Forest has only been called for 5 fouls. John Calipari giving Frank Scagliata an earful. He thought Rutland jumped in to initiate the contact.
Hey, you want to hear a great contract? You should get one like this. You ready for this? John Calipari, I learned today. Forget about incentives as he converts the foul. He doesn't have anything with incentives anymore. He flat out gets the cash. But better than that, he's got like a 24-year contract. His contract has a stipulation that in any time he wants to quit as a coach, they will pay him his last salary as a coach until he's 60, and he would work in a chancellor's office. Isn't that amazing?
I don't think there's any fear of him taking them up on that offer anytime soon. Nice play by Camby in the corner. He threw it out of bounds off the legs of Antonio Jackson, who has just come into the game for Wake. So UMass has the ball with a 4-point lead.
They're having a tough time getting the shots that Camby would like to get. Number one, they're not getting into transition because of the pace of the game. And number two, against the zone, he can't get the ball as easily as he'd like.
Avieso couldn't shed to LaRue.
And matching up out of that zone, trying to play a little bit of man-to-man in the area of the basketball. You want to try to overload against it. You want to try to get 3 against 2.
6 on the shot clock. Camby from the foul line. Soft touch.
I'll tell you, he's developing a heck of a touch. I really believe he can play a 3-slot or a 4-slot when he goes to the next level when that time comes. He certainly will not be a true low-post player, but he is a center on the collegiate level.
Camby has 6, and that's the lead for the Minutemen as we approach 4 minutes left till halftime.
Tempo so important, rhythm of a game.
LaRue a long 3. He has struggled shooting in the early season, as you might expect. He only joined the basketball team on November 18th when his football season ended. Padilla passed off the 3 to Bright.
Great look right there by Edgar Padilla. Unselfish teamwork, and that's what Massachusetts is all about. That's what Calipari's all about, and they love it here in Mass when they're rocking and rolling, baby. We're going to watch the dump down. Here's the dump down into Bright.
Both teams struggling to shoot, and that is true of the big men as well. To this point, the event has not matched the build-up to it, but there's still a lot of time left.
Sean, because both guys attract double teams and attract such an awareness and a game plan that's really focused on them, it really forces other players to step up and to become big. Padilla is really meeting that challenge. Somebody's got to step up for Wake Forest.
3.5 left till halftime.
Rutland's got his 12, but they haven't gotten anything from anyone else on the inside.
Another similarity between these two teams. Neither of them is deep. They play 6 or 7 men each, and that's all.
Now they're playing head-to-head, man-to-man. Wake Forest came out of the zone. Duncan against Camby, 1-on-1. Camby's got quickness.
And tried to use it, but Duncan stopped him, and the shot still dropped for Marcus Camby, and he has 8.
He has really developed a nice touch to his shot, and he really wants the ball. That's what's making him special this year. I saw it in the Kentucky game when they were on the ropes and Kentucky was making a challenge. He said, get me to rocking, everybody else get out of the way.
Duncan trying to answer, and his shot was short, contested all the way by Camby.
I'd get it to Camby right now.
He dumps it in, intended for Weeks, but LaRue was able to poke it free to Antonio Jackson.
Not a good look right there by Marcus. First of all, he made one mistake by picking up the dribble, and number 2, he forced the pass down to the post. So I'd go right at Camby right now. I'd get Duncan the ball. He's playing a one-on-one. I'd get Duncan to take him inside.
Duncan skipped it across for Goolsby, who missed the 3. Duncan got a hand on it, and then Weeks had it poked away, but it wound up with Padilla.
They really like Goolsby. Talking to their fine assistant, Ernie Nestor, he said, outstanding post feeder. That's an art that's lost, the ability to feed the post.
Camby on Duncan again, and Camby knocks in another one.
He's feeling it right now. He's got the touch. He's feeling it. He's in the zone the last 3 possessions. Take advantage and get him to rock. And now if you're Duncan, your team needs a big play. You got to rise. If you're an All-American, you rise to the occasion.
The UMass run is now 14-1. Marcus Camby is up to 10 points here in the first half.
Oh, should have had the ball. Duncan was sitting in a post. They missed on.
LaRue, a big 3 for the Demon Deacons.
Hey, I wonder if he's in relation to Jack LaRue. You remember that name? He was an actor years ago. That's before your time.
Yes, I think it was. Treviaso missed a 3. And following the rebound action against Tyrone Weeks of Massachusetts.
Camby right now isolate a little one-on-one maneuver. He wants the ball. He's trying to seal off Duncan. Now he's got him with that little spin. Protects the ball with that fadeaway jump shot. Calaveras says, I like it. I like it, yeah. Ed Schilling right behind him, a fine assistant. Remember that name? There's Mr. I'll tell you, Bruiser's a heck of an assistant as well.
James Bruiser Flint.
Yeah, Flint played at St. Joseph's. They got a heck of a staff. They're so dedicated. It's really a sight watching them practice.
Jackson missed the free throw, but LaRue hoists a 3. Rusty LaRue with back-to-back 3-pointers.
He's found his range, as you said, a little slow starting after football. That's so tough to rotate off the football field into a basketball uniform.
He came into tonight's game shooting 23% from the floor through the first 3 games.
Weeks with a big screen up on top. With that body, he can set some mean screens.
Less than a minute left in the half. UMass leads by 4. The largest lead was how many? It was 12. And Camby missed a 3 with the shot clock running out.
Officials are doing a heck of a job. They're allowing the 2 big guys to play. They're not calling any of those cheap fouls, putting them on a sideline.
We're 20 seconds away from the Delta Faucet halftime report. Among the stories Gary Miller will be telling you about, Connecticut making a trip to South Bend. LaRue feels it.
I'll tell you, he's wide open. Somebody's got to rotate and recognize he's the hot shooter.
Time for a last-second heave, but they don't get it off. The pass went through the hands of Dana Dingle. UMass led through most of the half. Their largest lead was 12, but Wake Forest closes out the half on a 9-0 run, and they're back in the game at the break. At halftime, Massachusetts 30 and Wake Forest 27. Now the Delta Faucet halftime report with Gary Miller.
All right, thanks a lot, Sean and Dick, and welcome to the Delta Faucet halftime report. Gary Miller with you to bring you up to date on everything else that's going on in the sports world. That includes college basketball, 9th-ranked UConn with their first ever visit to South Bend. We'll have highlights of that, and Sean Bradley and Derek Coleman, both in action in the NBA. We'll tell you how that turned out.
ESPN's presentation of NCAA basketball is brought to you by Subaru. Test drive an all-weather, all-road, all-wheel drive Subaru today. And by McDonald's. Have you had your break today?
We're at our break. UMass leading by a 3-point bucket. Highlights after this.
83 Route 46, Rockaway.
It is UMass up by a scant 3-point bucket, 30-27 on Wake Forest. And welcome to the Delta Faucet Halftime Report. Gary Miller with you to bring you up to date on the other action going on across the country. And that includes Connecticut welcoming Notre Dame to the Big East. They lost in overtime to Rutgers. Now they were at home in the Joyce Center, taking on the 9th-ranked team in the country. John McLeod's team trying to hold off the powerful Jim Calhoun Huskies. The Irish got off to the good break there, Matt Gotch, and they drew first blood in the game, but the Huskies had all the answers. Ray Allen with the steal. He'll go all the way, put it home, and then Duron Sheffer with the long-range bomb. The balanced attack for the Huskies. UConn won it going away by 20. They're 2-0 in the Big East, 5-1 in the year. Notre Dame remains winless in their first season in the Big East country. Kentucky coming off that win at the RCA Dome against Indianapolis, taking on Wisconsin Green Bay, a defense-minded team off the turnover, the scramble, and the Phoenix. Jeff Nordgaard, their top returning scorer, got the slam there. The Cats had too many weapons. Scoring at will, and then Antoine Walker makes the bucket there. Rick Pitino taking it easy. Wisconsin held them down a little bit, but Kentucky still won it 74-62 to move to 3-1 on the season. In the first half, Utah is blowing it open. They're now up 47-28 on Weber State as they take the big first break with the nation's 14th ranked team. Louisville and then Bluegrass Country inside the state. Dick Fick's squad going up against the Division I team for just the second time this year, and Morehead State just was totally outclassed. Tick Rogers with the slam there, and then DeJuan Wheat, Rogers back to Wheat, wrap around, pretty bucket. He had 23. Louisville wins it by 58. That's their biggest margin of victory in 24 years. Morehead State's totally outclassed in this one as the Cardinals wallop them in triple figures. Maryland welcomes their neighbors from Washington, D.C., and they won it 88-71 over Howard. Johnny Rhodes, a point above his average, at 21 on the night. To the NBA and its big trade week. Sean Bradley and Derek Coleman both in action for their new teams. They were traded for each other, and Bradley of the Nets was taking on the Minnesota Timberwolves, and that was a team that probably matched up pretty well with him. Bradley didn't start, but got in there, made the nice offensive move over Sam Mitchell. Got a couple there. The night belonged to the T-Wolves. Check out Tom Gugliotta on this one. Wrap around the back to the slam for Mitchell. Bradley's off to a nice defensive start. He's got half a dozen blocks and 7 points in this one. The Wolves have just made it a final, though, as they win it 108-97 over the visiting New Jersey Nets, who have won only once on the road. Derek Coleman also had a nice outing in his debut as a Philadelphia 76er. 17 points, 9 boards, and 11 rebounds, and he helps Philadelphia snap an 11-game losing streak. One of the note in the Mavericks, Roy Tarpley, has been given his second lifetime ban from the NBA. He failed an alcohol test. We're just getting started. We've got more to show you from the NBA. Why is Patrick Ewing smiling? His first trip to the United Center to take on Michael Jordan and the Bulls. Then at the half, we'll tell you how it turned out after this.
This halftime report is presented by Delta Faucet and your dependable Delta Plumbing professional. Together, they're the way water is brought to life.
Welcome back to the Delta Faucet Halftime Report. UMass leads Wake Forest by 3 in our game. Best game of the night in the NBA was clearly Michael Jordan and the Bulls returning from a 7-game road trip back to the United Center where they hadn't lost this year, hosting Patrick Ewing and the Knicks. The battle of the best team in the NBA against the Knicks. Dennis Rodman was back from injury for the first time in 12 games, first quarter. John Starks will look for Ewing, one-handed slam. Knicks had control early on, led most of the first half because Michael Jordan was off. Derek Harper, the Chicago native, all over him in his face, clanked it off the glass. Jordan 2 for his first 11. Then the Knicks continue it in the second quarter. Strong D, Starks to steal the breakaway bucket. Phil Jackson's team was down by a baker's dozen at the half. In the second half, though, they overcame their cold shooting, found the hot hand. Patrick Ewing with an errant pass. Kukoc picks it off. Michael Jordan ahead of the pack for the slam, and the Bulls with a big second half remain unbeaten at home, win at 101-94 over the Knicks. Boston in this backyard brawl, they won it 2 nights ago in double overtime at the Fleet Center. When Ellison and Thomas were ejected, they win it at Miami Arena, 105-101. Charlotte ends a slump, beats Cleveland 94-92. Glenn Rice had 25. Chris Webber had 27 for the first time in 11 meetings. They beat the Hawks. In progress, it is Houston and the Lakers, and the Rockets are having their way at the 85-67 over the LA Lakers. To the NHL, the big trade this week, and Montreal uses it to their advantage. Pat Jablonski and the Nets Jocelyn Tebow picked up from the Avalanche today. He'll be their future goalie. And another guy they picked up for Patrick Roy in that trade, Andrei Kovalenko, set up one of their goals. Blackhawks and Rangers in a classic. It is 5-5 late in the third at Madison Square Garden, where the Rangers have not lost in their last 10 games. Islanders against Hartford. The Whalers get a week's worth of scoring when it's 7-4. The Lightning beat the Ducks 2-1. We'll be back in just a minute.
Hi, I'm Jack McDonald from McDonald Pontiac GMC Truck. We're more than good service and value.
Hi, my name is Gus Mavroganis. I'm the chef owner of the Windfall Restaurant in Randolph, New Jersey, and this is my daughter Emily. I bought my first car from McDonald Pontiac GMC Truck 19 years ago and been doing business with them ever since. They value our time and they appreciate our business.
We know your time is important to you. We're McDonald Pontiac GMC Truck, Route 202 South, Morristown.
Time reports. We are in the middle of our triple header. After they complete play at the Mullins Center between UMass and Wake Forest, we'll have SportsCenter and then Hawaii visiting Long Beach State to take on the 49ers. We opened our triple header with Oklahoma at the Mackey Arena to take on Purdue. Boilermakers get it down court to their big man. Brad Miller puts it home. They led by 8 at the break. Miller ends up with 20 for Purdue. Ryan Miner had an off night. He does still have that deft touch, though. He is the Big 8 Player of the Year. He only had 15, though. Had an off shooting night. Ernie Abercrombie blocked by Brandon Brantley. Boilermakers go the other way. Great touch passing. Roy Hairston with the finish. And Calvin Sampson's club loses it on the road, 77-63. Also out of the Big 8, Oklahoma State winning it 80-63 over visiting Texas Arlington. Clemson, an easy winner over Charleston Southern in a battle inside the Palmetto State, winning 79-60. And staying in that state, South Carolina just misses triple figures and knocking off Furman. They've won 7 straight in this series against the Paladins. We are at halftime. Marcus Camby is in double figures. There's Tim Duncan trying to guard him. The turnaround. Camby's got 10, and his team is up 30-27. We're going back to Amherst after this.
ESPN's presentation of NCAA basketball is brought to you by Magnavox. At Magnavox, we make technology people want. Magnavox. Smart. Very smart.
To Amherst, Massachusetts at halftime. Number 3, Massachusetts with a 3-point lead over Wake Forest. Sean McDonough with Dick Vitale. The attention leading up to this game and throughout this game has been on the men in the middle, Tim Duncan and Marcus Camby. And halfway through the fight, if you will, the judges have it scored pretty evenly.
Well, you know, they really negated each other. It's become a jump shooting contest for Marcus Camby, and Duncan just gets swarmed with double and triple teams, and that has created a problem. We take a look right now at Tim Duncan. He said, look at the attention I'm going to draw. We're going to watch him in a post. Freeze it right here. Now we're going to watch him right in this area here, and then trying to get him down low one-on-one. But watch what happens when he gets the ball. Freeze it. I mean, we got 4 guys. Look at this right here. 4 guys. This is the guy that's going to be wide open. I mean, he's crying for the rock. There's the alertness. It's a skip pass. He gets a little help from a teammate. But Rusty LaRue, he heated up, knocked down 3 big trifectors to make this close. And then it was the Marcus Camby. In one segment, he was brilliant. There's the little jump shot on the baseline. Now he's going to show he can step up to the foul line and shoot the J. Gets that rotation, the little touch. Now he goes back to the baseline, spins. He's got that good spin fadeaway jump shot. And now we're going to watch right here. Oh, a little shot blocking ability as well. Now he's going to face Duncan, take it in the lane, fade away. It has become a jump shooting deal by Mr. Camby. Look at the numbers right now. Only 4 for 12 and 2 for 8.
Camby has outscored Duncan, but Duncan a decided edge in rebounds and has 2 more blocks. And Duncan played the full 20. Camby only came out of the game for 1 minute. Wake Forest got back in the game late in the half. They closed out the first half on a 9-0 run. Three-pointers by Rusty LaRue. Only 3 players have scored for Wake Forest: LaRue, Rutland, and Duncan.
Duncan's got to be a little bit more aggressive when he catches the ball down inside.
Bright tripped up, and that's the 4th on Ricky Perral. So he's been a non-factor in the game due to foul difficulty. That is his 4th, and right away Stephen Goolsby comes off the Wake Forest bench, and that's a big loss. He's a key player.
Well, he's made 12 for 17 from three-point range in the first 3 games, better than 60%, and he gives him size and a guy on a baseline who was very effective in that zone defense they play.
Goolsby averages under 10 minutes per game, but due to foul trouble, he played 10 minutes in the first half alone.
He could feed the post really well, and there's Duncan right there with the great hands, catches the ball. I'd like to see him become a little bit hungrier offensively. Want the basketball and want to score.
Duncan has 6. Dingle off balance, didn't get it to fall, but he was fouled. And we'll check out the first half stats. Neither team shot very well. UMass perfect from the line, and the big 3-pointers at the end of the half by LaRue, a big part of the story.
Doesn't shock me when we look at the numbers, 36 and 35%, because of the presence of Canby. Teams are not going to shoot well against Mass, and vice versa. On the other side, teams are not going to shoot well against Wake Forest because of Duncan. Everything becomes a perimeter-oriented offense.
Dingle made the first of 2.
Dingle goes jingle for Mr. Calipari, because the more deuces he makes, the more they win, and the more the cash register goes jingle, jingle, jingle for Calipari.
There's a jingle when Calipari walks by with all the change playing around in his pockets. Large chunk of change, but when you look at what he's done in this program, they had 10 consecutive losing seasons before he came here, and they played in a ratty old gym. Now they're in a beautiful new facility, and they have been to the NCAA tournament 4 years in a row.
He's a Frank Lloyd Wright. He's an architect, a builder of a program.
Duncan bounced it across to LaRue. UMass by 3, just underway in the second half.
Matchup man-to-man right now. Canby is playing Duncan.
Rutland way off with the shot. He gestured to Frank Scagliano that he felt he was fouled on the arm by Padilla.
Yeah, he was crying for the foul right there at 12 in the first half.
Duncan shut off Bright.
Might isolate Canby one-on-one, clearing out the side for him.
Bright tries to drive again, and this time he scores after the drive.
Ante Bride, an effective baseline player, hooked up in high school with Michael Lloyd, who started Syracuse last year. Keith Booth now playing for Maryland. What a team they have.
Keith Booth is Dante Bright's cousin. Dante says they were like brothers.
Oh, what a push. I mean, right there. How could Dante possibly think, I'm blind in my one eye, and I could call that foul? I mean, are you serious, Sean? He gave him a hit. It was unreal. I mean, it's unbelievable right in front of the ref. Now watch Moore, number Bright. Watch him right now lay a push on him. He's going to shove him right out of the way. Now, how could you get away with that? How could you possibly? Even in the NBA, they'd blow that 5 times.
In that case, it was not so bright. Duncan.
He wants to spin to the lane.
Boy, Rutland has been firing from the moment they threw the ball in the air. Again, he's claiming he was fouled. Canby controlled the rebound.
Rutland's not bashful, is he?
No, indeed.
He is not bashful.
UMass by 5. Rutland is now 4 for 11 from the floor. Canby.
Everything's the jump shot. Everything he's taken tonight is the jump shot. He's got to take it to the goal one time. Try to really show Duncan I can take it right by him.
Tony Rutland moving over to point guard this year with Childress in the NBA, and they call most of the plays from the bench just to take that burden off him. Allen traveled.
Walking violation. They're really hoping. Davey Odom was telling me today, we need Sean Ellen to step up as we look at the, right now, the shot. Look at the shot chart of Marcus Canby. A lot of shots fading away. Took 12 shots with one hand up there. That means he had only 1 block because everything's been on a perimeter. That showed you where he had taken his shots from. Duncan looks a little bit bigger, doesn't he?
Yeah.
They stand head to head. He's got those long arms. Only 19 years of age and a beautiful young man.
Duncan won't be 20 until April. Dingle saved it in front of the bench. And UMass will play it in.
What I love about Mr. Duncan, he never was spoiled by the system like David Robinson, the Admiral, when he played at the Naval Academy. They never were part of being in the 9th and 10th and 11th grade and wooed by everybody, America's guest, and everybody telling them how super they are. Nice backdoor cut.
Dingle couldn't finish. Contested up at the rim. And a foul call.
You know why that didn't happen? He didn't close that off because he was thinking of Duncan rotating over, possibly getting a piece of it. You watch the backdoor cut, but you're going to see the rotation. Now you're going to see the backdoor cut. Freeze it right there. And there he sees this hand coming. Mr. Duncan. He sees Mr. Duncan and he says, uh-oh, uh-oh. I'll tell you one thing. I wouldn't want him in a lane on me. He just loves to block shots. There's Camby with the good look. And there's the rotation by Duncan. Steps off Camby, comes in and alters that shot.
UMass leads by 5. 16 and a half minutes remaining here in Amherst. Padilla, NBA 3. Well short.
Really way out of his range right there.
And out of bounds off the hands of Dana Dingle.
I know Wake Forest won that ACC tournament last year. That was the first time since 1962. I wonder if your buddy there, Billy Packer, did he play then? I know he played at Wake. He was an All-American, the little guy. He was a tremendous player. I don't know if he played in 62.
I don't know either.
He played around that time, but that was the last time they went to the ACC and won that tournament as LaRue knocks one down.
What a night he is having. That is his 4th three-pointer. He has 14 points tonight. 4 out of 5 from three-point range.
You're going to get open shots because of the presence of Duncan in that low post. I mean, they're going to be available to you, and you got to convert and make those count. And LaRue's taking advantage of it, Sean.
And after the turnover, Wake Forest could tie with a two-pointer and take the lead with a 3.
What a momentum builder the 3 is. I mean, his team was ready to be knocked out, and LaRue stepped up with 3 big threes at the end of the half.
Allen out of control, called for the offensive foul. He put his shoulder down, trying to bowl over Camby. Camby just backed away. Allen wound up falling down to the ground.
Look at Davey laughing. I'll tell you one thing, Davey Odom has a different philosophy than most. He said early in the season, I don't want Duncan to be really in control of the ball. I want to get other people involved.
Tech's freshman sensation Stephon Marbury gets a major test Saturday when he leads the number 16 Yellow Jackets against number 5 Kentucky and the Wildcats' pressure defense. That's Saturday at 8:30 Eastern on ESPN.
Look at these stats right now. Marbury shooting 51% from three-point range. A great ball handler. He is the best perimeter diaper dandy in the nation. And the best inside diaper dandy in the nation is Sharif Abdur-Rahim from out of California, where he's averaging 31 and about 13 rebounds a game early in the season. There are a lot of other good quality guys, but those 2 kids have stepped out from day one and have been instant impact players.
We'll see California on ESPN on Saturday night, December 16th. Against Minnesota. Massachusetts with the ball, leading by 2. The foul just before the break on Sean Allen was his 4th, so both starting forwards for Wake Forest have 4 fouls.
Yeah, Parole and Allen with 4. That's big.
Camby.
He can't get the ball to the basket. Duncan does a great job with his footwork to always beat him to a spot, making him shoot the jump shot, not able to get to the rack and really jamming one down.
Camby now 4 for 14 from the floor. And he's guarding Duncan. And Duncan's shot was long. Camby ripped down. The rebound was fouled.
They got Duncan over the top. He had a big game last year against Rasheed Wallace. Shut him out. Look at Camby down inside right now with the rack. Now look at the footwork. See how Duncan rotates over him, always squaring his body, keeping him between himself. He keeps his body between the basket and the offensive player.
It's the first foul tonight on Duncan. This is the 4th game of the season for Wake Forest, and now Duncan has been called for a total of 4 fouls this season. It's amazing he blocks shots as he does and commits so few fouls.
Well, he gets great position. He really does with his footwork. He's always working, anticipating. He's aware where his offensive player is going to go. Now they take him off Camby.
Travieso with some room. LaRue is down on the floor and in pain as the layup is waved off for a travel.
I think LaRue's got a few other hits during the course of the football season. He was sacked a few times in football as well.
Their football team was 1-10, so I would assume he was sacked more than once.
Oh, look at this. What contact he made right there on Camby. Here he is coming over. Ooh, has no awareness of Canby. Ooh, let's hope he's okay. His wife's expected, I understand, in January. Dean's List student. I get amazed when I look at his resume. Football, basketball, baseball. What a winner.
Nearly a steal by Padilla. Rusty LaRue and his wife Timmy were married in the summer of '94. They're expecting their first child in January.
Good help defense right there by Mass.
Goolsberry, he's one of the players who's had to fill the void due to the foul trouble to Corral and Allen. And that jumper has tied the game at 34. Now the crowd's trying to get back in him.
Goolsberry's an excellent shooter and an excellent post feeder.
They go to Canby. Tyrone Weeks had an offensive rebound and lost it, but it went out off Goolsby, and UMass will inbound.
It's amazing. You look at the minutes, Padilla and also Travieso, they're on that full floor. It's incredible. John Calipari was wishing he had Charlton Clark this year. Would have given him a third guard, but he broke his foot.
Tyrone Weeks to the bench as Dante Bright returns. Massachusetts has missed its last 5 shots. This Charlton Clark, the freshman guard, had surgery on his right foot, will be out 6 to 8 weeks.
From out of St. Raymond's down here in the Bronx, played in the same high school with Dana Dingle. Zone defense right now by Wake Forest, rotating out of the man. In an area of the floor where you can zone up with Duncan. You could really just force people to try and shoot the long-range jumper. Get nothing on the interior. The way teams shoot right now, I mean, a lot of teams can't shoot the basketball. Nice look right there. Great pass. Tremendous awareness, anticipation by Canby. He was making that pass before he had the basketball.
And Dante Bright finished, and he has 14 points. UMass back up by 2 as we tick down to 13 minutes remaining here in Western Massachusetts.
Looks like we're going to have a good one. Somebody going to suffer their first loss.
Steal. Padilla got a hand on it. Dingle got it back to Padilla.
Clearing out for him.
Canby the follow-in.
He's got that fadeaway jump shot down. He loves that shot. That's becoming his big shot. Every player, when they get to be really superstars, has that one special shot they want to go to. Shaquille, he goes to the jam. Kareem had that sky hook. Elvin Hayes had that little jump shot.
John Calipari playing orchestra leader on the sideline, encouraging the fans to cheer louder as Wake Forest tries to quiet them, and Rutland missed. Rebound Dingle. UMass has run off 4 unanswered
points. They got Canby, throw the lob to him.
Travieso settles for the jumper.
Get a TO, baby. They're ready for a run. You better get a timeout, Davey. Better get a timeout. Settle them down. Uncle Mo has arrived to the Mullins Center.
Rutland, they need it. They get it.
Oh, what a big shot. Odom says we don't need the timeout.
15 for Tony Rutland.
That's special when you have guys that want the ball and make the big shot.
And a travel called. And Brighton UMass turn it over.
We're going to watch Marcus Canby make the great pass. We're going to show there's the high-low entry. And then Mr. Canby says, I can shoot the fadeaway jumper, baby, from the baseline.
Refuse to lose, the motto of the UMass Minutemen. They're in a tussle with Wake Forest. And the Iron Men doing it again tonight for UMass. Padilla's played 28 minutes, Travieso 25. Still struggling this season with outside shooting in the backcourt, being outscored by a wide margin by Wake Forest backcourt, as Rutland and LaRue have been terrific tonight for Wake Forest.
They're asked to do so many things in that backcourt. Play on the defensive end. Rusty LaRue says, I'm okay. He was really super knocking down that 3 at the end of the half and gave Wake Forest a tremendous lift.
And here's Rutland, LaRue's backcourt mate. 3 to tie for Wake Forest. They're down by 3 with 11:25 left. Jackson one-on-one with Tyrone Weeks. Good move. And Canby Canby might have changed the shot. He cleared the board.
Jackson showed real quickness down there on that baseline. Made a nice drop step. Just didn't convert. He's getting some quality minutes now because, as you said earlier, with Allen out and Perreault out.
Canby nearly lost the grip on the ball. Still managed to get a shot up and drew the foul.
He knows he's the man this year. You know, last year, Lewis Rowe, who had that great opening game over Arkansas. Right now, Canby knows this is my team. This is my team. I'm the man. Give me the rock. Look at him. Agile, mobile. And then they lost Kellogg on a perimeter. Also, Michael Williams, who, by the way, Michael, if you're watching, please get back to Massachusetts and complete your degree. Just got cut in the CBA, cut in the MBA. There's a life for him as a coach, maybe as a teacher. He's got to finish and get that degree.
Canby missed the first free throw. Foul on Goolsby was his first. And the sixth on Wake Forest. There's Mark with his mom.
Oh, she's a happy lady. She's got to be a happy and proud lady. You know, you think of the matchups you talked about earlier when we had, for example, Hayes and Alcindor. Hayes won that big battle in January of '68 at 39 points. Lewis had that scratched eye, but they came back in a rematch in the semis in 1968, and UCLA put the hurt on them 101-69 by the greatest coach of all time, John Wooden, the Wizard of Westwood.
LaRue guarded tightly by Travieso. Massachusetts by 4. Duncan steps out and is short with a jumper. Weeks the rebound.
He's trying to show Canby, whatever you can do, I can do better.
Down to 10.5 minutes left. It's the starting 5 for UMass minus Dingle. Weeks is in for him. Dave Odom says UMass has the best starting 5 in the country.
Wow. Wow. I don't know about that now. Wow. Wow. Maybe he says that about every team they go to play.
Maybe he does, but he said it today. Canby short with it.
Very good, but I would debate that. I'd battle that all day long. Very good claw, but I don't know about the best starting 5.
LaRue calling signals as he does on the football field. Dick mentioned his prowess, and over the last 3 games of the football season, he completed 146 passes in 3 games. That is a national record for completions over a 3-game span. Broke the mark set by David Klingler, then of Houston. Of course, went on to the NFL with Cincinnati.
That's amazing. That's almost like 50 completions per game.
Again, your math skills come shining through.
Wow.
They're proud at Seton Hall.
See, right now, they're not proud of me. They never claimed me. But I'll tell you this, Ricardo Perreault's matched up with Canby with 4 fouls. I just go to Canby. See, Canby's got to be aware that Perreault's got 4. He can't check him.
Still UMass by 4. Both teams have gone cold. We're down to 9:10 left. Jackson long with the fadeaway. Canby another rebound.
Somebody's got to tell the kids at Wake Forest they got the #1 big player in America and get them the ball. I mean, somebody on it. There's a look at Ricky Stokes behind Davey Odom, Ernie Nestler, fine staff. Canby's got to want the ball. The guy's got 4 fouls. Can't check him.
Marcus
nice
got it
dish.
through the traffic, and Bright has a chance for a 3-point play.
What a dish. Now he's going to do a little dance, a little Baltimore chop dance. What a great look by Marcus on that baseline. The one thing I love about the Mass kids, they're very unselfish. Now see, Canby knows Perreault's got 4 fouls. He can't lean on him. Now he spins to the baseline, he draws help. He's got 3 guys around him. That means somebody's got to be open. Even a dummy like me can figure that out. If 3 guys are watching the ball, doesn't it mean 2 guys are open? Sure.
More often than not, yes.
But you got to find them. The game's not hard. It's not complex.
And Bright finishes the 3-point play. 15 for Dante Bright. And Canby goes to the bench.
Gets a little rest. He won't be on that bench long. He's not made to be an assistant coach. He's going to be on that floor quickly for the stretch.
Netus Norville into the game. Matched up with Duncan. Man-to-man for UMass. Their lead back up to 7.
See, that's smart. Go right there. Oh, Norville says, get it out of here.
Perreault for 3. Long, Duncan and Norval. Held ball.
Norval, a fresh body. I thought that he'd be able to play a lot more minutes as he gets really a tap from all his teammates. Look at Norval. I mean, he's making like Canby now. He's an imposter. Look at him. He's an imposter. Blocking shots on Duncan.
And on the alternating possession, the ball goes back to the Minutemen. They're trying to pull away. Their largest lead in the first half was 12. And we're down to 8 minutes remaining.
Very slow tempo game. Not many transition baskets. Both clubs controlling tempo offensively.
Bright. Strong move. Missed the shot. Duncan the rebound.
That was an excellent move across that lane by Dante Bright. So now here's where Duncan's got to take advantage. Canby's on the sideline. He's got to assert himself.
He's way out behind the three-point line at the moment. LaRue knocks in the runner.
Wesley LaRue making big shots all night long.
Made the point earlier about Duncan, and it's true. He just doesn't have that assertive look on his face like he really wants the ball on offense.
He plays very poised. I told you earlier, the philosophy of Davey Odom has been early in the season, I want to get everybody else involved, and then I know when it's ACC time, Mr. Duncan's going to really assert himself, but I want other players to feel a vital part of our club.
Norval missed it. Duncan double teamed. He had it stripped away. Dingle to Bright for the 2.
Dingle to Bright. I'll tell you, those two really are unsung heroes here at Mass.
That's another example of when Duncan really needed to rip the ball from the traffic and did not. And a foul called against Massachusetts.
He had a great game against Rasheed Wallace last year when Wallace was like 0 for 3 and he went for about 25 against North Carolina in a win at Chapel Hill.
Under 7 minutes remaining, the Minutemen by 7. Sean McDonough, Dick Vitale, back at the Mullins Center in Amherst, Mass. John Calipari, not the first outstanding coach at UMass. Jack Lehman, longtime Massachusetts coach, now radio color commentator on their network. 217 wins, so Calipari still has a ways to go. John's won 161 games.
He coached Dr. J, baby, right there, Julius Ervin. I got a great story. He took one of my players, Billy Keskin, when I coached at East Rutherford, New Jersey. Billy called me like after 2 days of practices. Coach, I'm not going to play much here. I said, Billy, stop crying. He said, this kid they got, Julius, is unbelievable on a freshman team. I said, Julius who? Turned out to be Ervin. Now I understood why he didn't play.
Jack Lehman also coached a guard named Rick Pitino.
Yeah, Pitino was a heck of a ball handler. Excellent penetrator, was a leader, and I'll tell you what, they're still, in my estimation, when it's all said and done, I still believe that Kentucky and Kansas are the 2 best teams in America. John Calipari had that big win, had that 19-point lead on Kentucky. I think they made a great decision moving Tony Delp to the second slot as opposed to a point guard position because he's not comfortable at the point guard.
Last foul is on Tyrone Weeks, his second. Peral walked.
Ricardo having a tough night tonight. 4 fouls. Hasn't been able to get the good look for his 3.
Dave Odom, 53 years old, native of Goldsboro, North Carolina. Guy who probably hasn't gotten enough credit nationally for the job that he's done. Took a program that hadn't had very much success. They've been in the tournament 5 years in a row. They hadn't been more than 2 years in a row before he got there.
Over the back right there by Weeks. His peers, though, I've recognized him. 3 of the last 5 years. He was coach of the year in the ACC. He's highly thought of. You know what's amazing is you look at both coaches, Odom and Calipari. They do it with different styles. Davey's more the low-key kind of guy, but an intense competitor. John is very verbal, very animated, very excited.
Both give excellent sound bites, as we found out today during our conversation with them this afternoon. Duncan with 10 rebounds out beyond the three-point line now. And fouled as he went to pass off with Sean Allen. Dave Odom has led Wake Forest to 5 straight appearances. As we mentioned, they'd only been to the tournament 2 times in a row prior to his arrival. They're working on 3 straight 20-win seasons and hoping for a 4th. The only other school in the ACC that has won 20 or more each of the last 3 years is North Carolina.
Well, 5 straight wins, 5 straight trips, rather, to the NCAA tournament. 6 straight wins over Duke. That's amazing. I mean, is that right? I'm reading He had 6 straight wins. Wow.
And 8 of the last 10 over the Dukies.
I promised Michael Kay I wouldn't say that on the air. 8 of the last 10 over Duke. Like that tie, too. Look at the tie he's got. His wife must have picked that baby out.
Allen missed both. He still has not scored. Camby rebounds the miss. And at the pace at which this game is being played, it's getting a little late to be behind by 7. We're under 6 minutes left.
Yeah, it's such a slow-paced game. They're getting nothing out of Peralta and Allen right now today.
And again, Bright shows his ability to slash to the bucket.
And Bright really lending a helping hand to Camby. He's been a supporting factor. You know, earlier he didn't call a timeout because he was waiting for the TV timeout.
And this is a 20-second timeout called by Wake Forest as Massachusetts is on a 7-zip run. Tomorrow night, 9:30 Eastern Time, live from Disney World in Orlando, Florida. It's ESPN's Home Depot College Football Awards Show. And of course, Saturday, 7:30, the Heisman Trophy presentation presented by Wendy's. No truth to the rumor that Dave will be there to give the Heisman Trophy winner a double with cheese. That's 7:30 Saturday night, the Heisman Trophy presentation.
I like that. Hey, you think Tommy Frazier's a little nervous? Or maybe Danny Warfel or maybe George a little bit nervous right now? What a special award to receive, the Heisman. I won't tell you who my vote is, but, you know, I like
Thomas Krug.
I like Frazier.
You like the quarterback
at
Notre Dame who
I like
dates your
him
daughter.
a lot. You're right. I like him a lot. I got a tough one with Florida State.
Peralta, Allen, both playing with 4 fouls.
See how they matched up on Peralta. They know he likes to shoot that 3-point shot.
Don't get a miss. Padilla the rebound. A 3-pointer. And UMass would match its largest lead.
Notice how they manage the clock. They really know how to use the clock. What a great environment. What they've created here in Mass basketball is amazing.
Bright, a little bit out of control that time. 11 rebounds now for Duncan. We're under 5 minutes left, and Wake Forest is down by 9. Nearly 6, but Rutland's 3 rattled out.
The 3 has really always bailed them out. Think about this, the last 3 years. They beat #1 North Carolina. They beat #1 Arkansas. They beat #1 Kentucky. All 3 wins happened early in the season. I mean, there was a time Massachusetts would not even be on a floor with those kind of programs.
Well, as Jack Lehman said to us before the game tonight, did you ever think you'd see the day when an ACC team came to play in Amherst against UMass? And it is happening tonight.
That's called respect, baby. And I guess when you got a contract that could take him for 24 years, he's 36 years of age, and he's got a contract up till 60. If he would have quit coaching, whatever his salary is as a coach, he would get for working in the chancellor's office. That's Calipari's reward.
That's just the base salary. He loses all the perks.
Yeah,
there are a lot of perks in his deal.
No question. But that base is not too bad for me here either.
Oh, it's into the 6 figures.
Well, see, that doesn't excite you because, you know...
I'm a taxpayer in this state. That's why it doesn't excite me.
That's nickel and dime money to what you're making, see?
Wake Forest has now
Odom
scored.
wants the foul. Odom is absolutely upset. He wanted the foul.
Wake has only scored now on one of its last 9 possessions, and time is running out of the Demon Deacons.
Very poor job executing here in the last 3 or 4 minutes. Both clubs not really getting a good offensive flow. Now they're utilizing the clock. Really controlling tempo all night long.
And Camby drives it home.
Can't allow him to shoot that shot. He smells the W now, Mr. Camby. He smells the W.
The run is 9 consecutive points for Massachusetts, and they enjoy their largest lead of the second half. 11 with 3:10 to go. Rutland, the 3 they need, and it won't drop. Bright ripped it away from Camby.
They haven't really been getting the ball into the hands of Duncan. And to me, when you're a superstar, when you're rated as the best big player in America, you got to step forward and bail your club out when they're on the ropes.
Duncan is 4 for 14 from the floor.
He hasn't stepped out to want the ball in the last 3 or 4 minutes. He plays within the realm of the offense, and I can understand that. But sometimes you got to get a little bit hungry out there.
Shot clock running down, and Padilla's a long way from the bucket. Padilla, the runner, gets it.
They cleared out for Padilla. They're getting ready to celebrate here. I mean, they're getting ready to have jubilation time. This building was rocking last night with a concert by Fish, and now it's rocking. Hey, Fish, do you know who they are?
No, I didn't know who they were until you went to the concert last night. I can tell you the arena smells a lot different tonight than it did last night at that concert, and the jumper's knocked in by Rusty LaRue.
No, I only stopped by to take some pictures, and they gave me a T-shirt and a hat, but I had to leave and go to a meeting with our producers.
You stopped by to sell a few books. Who are you kidding? 2:03 remaining.
And we did that today. Over 500 came out. I was shocked over at the bookstore. I thought you'd be there.
Well, it's a good thing. We won't have to hold that benefit dinner for you now. We get by on the books you sold today.
Watch Camby right now. See, I really believe, he is taking charge. He wants the ball. Now there's Marcus. Now, see, you got to get a hand up on him. You can't let him get no hand get up. They gave him a quick look at the goal. Look at Camby. Very explosive now, verbally as well, confident.
And the last foul was on Edgar Padilla, his second. Timeout. UMass comfortably ahead with 2:03 to go. And perhaps all the attention on their head-to-head matchup has had an effect on Marcus Camby and Tim Duncan tonight. Duncan came into tonight's game shooting 77% from the floor for the year, and Camby 58%. Neither has shot the ball well tonight, and an edge in play to Camby.
Both of them have really forced each other to become jump shot oriented, and haven't seen him really be able to get to the basket and get to the rack. Hey, make no bones about it. Both these kids are absolutely superstars and going to have a great year this year. They're both dominant players. The ball has not fallen in for Tim. I just feel at times he's got to become a little bit more aggressive offensively.
Yeah, definitely.
That's his personality. I think he's a little passive, but he's just a beautiful young guy. And you remember this, he didn't play basketball until the 9th grade. And he's come a long way, baby, a long way. And he said he would have been the first player taken in the NBA draft.
LaRue makes the free throw. Foul was on Travieso, his third.
David Odom's club's going to get a lot better, too, if they get back Braswell academically. If he does the job, he gives them an experienced guard. Remember, they lose a Randolph Childress, and that is a big-time loss.
And they think they'll get Jerry Braswell back. He's sitting out for academic reasons. They think he'll sit out one more game and then be eligible when the next semester begins.
There's a trap in the corner. You don't want to bring the ball there and pick up your dribble.
And with UMass struggling in the half court, the Minutemen call timeout.
That sideline becomes an extra defensive player. Calipari, who worked as an assistant at Pittsburgh, worked as an assistant. Let him, 20 seconds. I want 20 seconds, he said. I want 20 seconds. And what a schedule they have played. They're going out to Hawaii also.
What a game they have coming up this weekend.
Boston
the
College.
long-awaited Commonwealth Classic for bragging rights in Massachusetts. They'll play Boston College at the brand-new Fleet Center in Boston on Saturday, and there is an awful lot of bad blood between those two programs.
Well, the two athletic directors made that game happen because I know that down in Boston College, they didn't want to play Massachusetts, basically, but that's going to be a reality, and the fans benefit, the kids benefit, they all want that to happen, and I think the same thing should happen with Connecticut. Put egos aside and make the game happen. I mean, every kid down here, it's all they were talking about today when I was at the book signing was, we want to play Connecticut. We want Connecticut. So Jim Calhoun, make that game happen, baby. Let's make it happen. UConn and Mass. What a special game it will be.
John Calipari has said many times he's willing to do it. But so much bad blood between UMass and BC that they actually had coin flips to decide things like what ball would be used, what team would wear the white uniforms, what bench they would sit on. Coin flips.
Wow. That's not healthy. I know they got an outstanding guard. They both were recruiting. It's Scooney Penn for Boston College, and Daniel Abrams is a big-time player.
BC's been a pleasant surprise in the early season already with an upset over Louisville.
You mentioned surprises. Arizona's been, to me, a big, shocking surprise. Reggie Geary, as we look at the free throw line, has been brilliant as a leader. North Carolina, Dean Smith's club's been a big surprise, and so has Georgia, who they're playing on Thursday night. Stanford's been a disappointment to me. I think they're going to have a great year this year. And they still may, but getting blown out in that tournament by Carolina shocked me.
Rutland with a desperate three. Dave Odom didn't like the shot selection. Duncan with the steal. He'll hoist a three.
He gets it down. A three by the big guy. Now he gets a timeout.
hang up the phone just yet. That was a three-pointer, and Wake Forest trails by 8 with 1:15 remaining. Back to the Mullins Center in a moment.
The new Chrysler Sebring was built upon something called the Goldilocks principle.
It occurred to us that while most luxury cars were too big, most sport coupes were too small. We wanted the Sebring to be, well, just right.
It not only has a sporty 24-valve engine and a race-inspired suspension, but it also gives you the luxury of an actual back seat.
Which means there's enough room for Goldilocks and 3 or 4 of her friends.
A spirit of teamwork. That's what makes the Home Depot proud to be a sponsor of the 1996 Olympic Summer Games in Atlanta and the 96 Paralympic Games. We're also proud to have Black & Decker as a member of our Home Depot Olympic family. Black & Decker tools have helped you get the job done right for over 80 years. Striving to be the best is the mark of Black & Decker and of Home Depot, helping to bring the games to America.
ESPN's presentation of NCAA basketball is brought to you by The Home Depot, where low prices are just the beginning, and by Chrysler and the new Chrysler Cirrus Sports Sedan.
Mullins Center remains one of the great home court advantages in college basketball. UMass hangs on to win. Their record all-time in this building will be 31-1, and the only game they lost, as we mentioned, was last year to George Washington without the man you just saw, Marcus Camby.
I think he might make a difference if he's out of the lineup.
Yeah. They lost by 2 without him.
Well, wow, I think he can make a deuce.
Camby was fouled as he was bringing the ball up. He does have guard skills, as John Calipari says.
You know, the Atlantic 10 this year with the addition of Virginia Tech and Xavier is going to be a heck of an addition to that conference. As we look at the storyline right now, Mass 22 points in the paint. And I thought the difference was Dante Bright in this game. Even though the game's certainly not over yet, not with the three-point shot. LaRue can certainly knock him down, as you can see right there, 4 for 5 from three-point range.
In all, 5 schools joined the Atlantic 10 this year.
LaSalle, Dayton, and Fordham as well.
That's right. Trying to knock John Calipari from the throne. UMass has won 4 consecutive A-10 regular season and tournament titles.
Oh, out of bounds there. He wasn't happy, though, when he looked at the schedule, and they play Virginia Tech and they play Xavier, and both of them on the road this year. He said, we win the league 4 times. We're the Atlantic 10 champs, and they should be coming our place first, and we go there next year.
In the Atlantic 10 this year, you're going to play teams in your own division twice and the teams in the other division only once. Those are the road trips Calipari's talking about, and the only meetings with those schools, both will be on the road this year. When you've been dominating the league for 4 years, as UMass has, you ought to have a few challenges thrown at you.
I'll tell you, this guy's league right there, there are 9 good basketball teams. Clemson and North Carolina State are going to be good basketball teams. Not great teams in that league, but a lot of very good teams. You could finish 1 to maybe 7 or 8 in that league. That's how deep it is.
Wake Forest in the preseason poll picked to finish second behind Maryland. Duncan had it blocked by Camby.
And the crowd loves it. The crowd loves it. He went up a little slow right there. They're smelling the wind. They're sprinting down to the other side. Hey, it hasn't been Alcindor versus Hayes. It hasn't been Olajuwon versus Ewing. As we look at the jumper, it hasn't been Ewing versus Sampson. But it's still been special with the 2 best big players in America. And Camby rejected one on Duncan right there. Remember this, they're both young, and a lot of young stars moved on, like Joe Smith and like Wallace and Stackhouse. But these 2 kids have a world of potential. That Sampson-Ewing matchup was really outstanding at 82. Both players went head-to-head before Ewing fouled out. Virginia won that game. Sampson had 23 points. Mr. Ewing had 16. Then you had Olajuwon and Ewing for the NCAA title when Georgetown cut the nets down.
He was Akeem back then. He has purchased a consonant from the Wheel of Fortune since then. Padilla with the strip and the jam.
And the jam. Tuck it away, Mr. Calipari. This house belongs to John Calipari and the kids from Mass. Hello. Another W for the Atlantic 10 Super Club. Boy, what a club they've been in this league.
28 seconds left, and UMass in command. Sports Center comes your way next with Keith Olbermann and Linda Cohn. And the top stories they'll be covering: the Knicks and the Bulls, Sean Bradley as a net, and Patrick Waugh traded.
Hey, congratulations to Keith on the Ace Award, and also to Dick Schaap winning an ace. They got a trip. They're going to the Rainbow Classic. I see here Honolulu for Massachusetts. They're going to hook up with North Carolina State. Syracuse and Illinois is going to be there. Hey, Jimmy Boeheim, quietly, your alma mater is doing a heck of a job. They blew out St. John's and beat Providence on the road.
And most importantly of all, they're keeping the orange as the mascot. We can all breathe a sigh of relief.
I saw that today.
Otto the Orange lives for another day.
Look at this guy handle a rock. He's got guard skills at 6'11".
Oh, and a great feed to Bright.
Diagonal pass into Dante Bright.
And these will likely be the final numbers for Camby tonight.
He's happy with the W. I'll tell you, he has matured as a player. He has really matured. John Calipari, 36 years of age, has done an amazing job. You think of the guys that have built programs: Bobby Cremins at Georgia Tech, John Thompson at Georgetown, and right here. And Camby goes to the sideline from Hartford, Connecticut. Mr. Flint says, great game, Marcus. His presence made them shoot the jump shot. And there's the hug. Hey, baby, it's Marcus Madness. Refuse to lose.
And Tim Duncan leaves and gets polite applause from the crowd here as well.
He's got the best upside of anybody in college basketball. Upside, I mean, he's only going to get better. This kid is 19 years of age. The numbers weren't there tonight in his favor, but you can guarantee he'll bounce back. He's quality people. He's got great character. It just didn't go his way tonight, but I'll guarantee you he won't pout about it and he won't sulk about it.
And a whistle with 3.5 seconds left.
That's all the airtime we got left. 3.5 seconds. I got so much more information I want to give. Come on,
ahead.
Sean.
Get it in.
3 seconds. We got to get it all in. I got to talk about surprises, disappointments. I got to talk about Villanova's great starting team. They got a tough one coming up with Purdue. I mean, what else do you want to hear?
Well, we'll have 3.5 seconds. And Coach Calipari is emptying the bench.
Oh, there's a hug. I'd give him a big hug, John. I'd hug him. Oh, look, he's got tattoos too now. Everybody's going to the tattoo. I may be going to go to one. I want to get a nice tattoo. I know one thing. You and I today, as a broadcast team, have less hair than any team that's ever worked together.
You got that right. Well, John Calipari said if Marcus Camby had not come back this year, instead of playing the teams he's played, Kentucky, Maryland, Wake Forest, he would have been playing a lot of the directional schools, a lot of Northwest and Southeast, and a lot of A&Is and A&Ts. But Marcus is here, and the Minutemen are still undefeated. They go to 4-0 while Wake Forest suffers its first loss of the year. The Demon Deacs now 3-1. And in the one-on-one battle, the edge to Camby. And that one-on-one battle didn't quite live up to the advanced billing, but often that is the case. And great days are ahead for both Camby and Duncan. For Dick Vitale, Sean McDonough saying so long from Amherst. Stay tuned for Sports Center.